Hi everyone, it's Miss Rossi. Today we're going to be making some Valentine's Day inspired artwork based on the work of artist Romero Britto. We are going to be looking at some of his different love-inspired pieces and creating our own version of them. So I have some different artworks posted on my Canvas page that you can take inspiration from. You can look through the video I posted about our artist and take inspiration from any of those artworks, or you can come up with your own. Now today I'm going to be looking at his heart picture and making kind of like my own version of that one, but you can decide if you want to do something else that includes heart shapes or look at some of his other love-inspired pictures to create your own version of that. Now, all you will be needing today to get started on our project is a white piece of paper. We're going to need a pencil, an eraser, and something to trace and color with. I'm going to use markers to trace my picture and to add my color today, but you can use any art supply you have at home if you want to use markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever it might be will work. So I am making art based on his heart picture. Now you can decide for your drawing if it is going to work best with your paper going vertically, tallest up and down, or horizontally, longest going left to right. I think I'm going to hold my paper vertically today because I want to draw a nice big and tall heart on my paper. And I'm not going to make my picture exactly like his. I'm going to change it around just a little bit, but I am going to start with a nice big heart shape in the middle. Now it does not have to be perfect and perfectly match on both sides. You can try your best and make your heart shape however you would like. Now in his picture, he is separating some sections of his heart and separating some sections of the background with some big straight lines. So I'm going to use a few inside my heart to separate that area. And then I am going to use a few in my background. Now I might continue one of my lines from inside my heart into the background to separate that area. Maybe I'll also follow this line, but I'm also going to just add a few in here that are a little different. So now my picture is broken up into different spaces. I have different shapes existing inside my heart and different shapes splitting up the background as well. Now what our artist is most known for are his bright and colorful patterns and designs he is including in all of his pieces. So inside all of these sections, I'm going to add different kinds of patterns and designs. Now in order to make my heart look different than my background, I'm going to focus my heart using different kinds of designs made up of shapes, and in the background I'm going to use different kinds of designs made up mostly of lines. So even though there's going to be a lot going on, there's going to be a lot of crazy looking patterns and designs all over the place, I'm hoping that if my background is mostly lines and my heart is mostly shape, there's going to be a nice contrast there with my designs and patterns to separate the two sections of my picture. So you can decide what you would like to do for your patterns and designs. You can repeat shapes, you can repeat lines, you can repeat them both. It is totally up to you. I think I'm going to start with some circles in this top section, and as I am drawing these, I am making sure I am stopping my design, stopping those shapes when I hit that long line that I drew to divide my heart, and when I hit the edges of my heart shape. I only want this pattern to exist in that one individual section that I have here that includes that top part of my heart and that bottom line. So now when I jump into a different section, I am going to create a different design using some other kinds of shapes. Let's see, I'm going to do some repeating shapes to create a pattern here using some triangles and some rectangles. Now I don't have to just do these kinds of geometric shapes that we can name like triangles, rectangles, squares. I can also do more free-form and blob-like shapes to create some different looking designs inside my section. So maybe I'll make this looking more like a drippy little slime-like section. But it's totally up to you what you want your picture to look like. And then in this last section, again, continuing on with the use of shapes to create some different patterns, I'm going to use my shapes to build a design in here made up of some flowers. So if you want your shapes to create other things, maybe you want to do some heart-shaped designs, maybe you want emoji-like designs, you can always include those in your patterns and things inside your sections of your picture. Now that my heart is finished, I said I was going to fill in the rest of my background using some different kinds of line designs. So I am going to think about all the different kinds of lines I know how to draw. I'm going to start using some straight lines and making a nice big bold stripe pattern in this one section. And just like inside my heart, I am stopping once I hit that border where my heart is drawn. I do not want my design going in there. I can have these lines kind of change as they're going up. I can think of some other kinds of lines that I know how to draw, like some zigzag lines. So maybe in here I can do some big zigzag stripes going all the way down. I can also do some wavy lines. So I'm going to turn my paper and draw a nice bouncy wavy line. And I can repeat that over and over again. And you can always mix up your lines. So maybe I want wavy lines and dashed lines in here to create a pattern where I'm repeating my wavy line and repeating my dashed line to create something a little bit more interesting. I can also do lines that are crisscrossing over each other. So maybe I want to start with some vertical lines down here and have them change and cross over into some horizontal lines so they overlap. I think down here I'm going to do some big looping lines. And then one of my favorite kinds of lines looks like the top of a castle where it's going up and back down. So I'm going to draw that in this section. Now my picture is all finished being drawn in pencil. I'm going to grab a black marker, and with my black marker I am going to outline my heart shape. So I'm tracing right over the top of that heart that I drew. I'm also going to trace over those lines that I drew to create my different sections. So with my black marker, I am tracing over the lines that are separating the different parts of my picture, and I traced over the line that made up my heart shape. And now I'm not going to trace anything else with my black marker. I'm going to put that away because the rest of my picture, I'm going to use all of my different colored markers to trace and color it in. By using the black marker to only trace over those certain areas, it's going to help see those a little bit better once we have all these crazy patterns and designs happening as well. So I'm just going to use all my different colored markers to trace my designs and color them in. Now you can color and trace your designs however you would like. If you want to use different colors to trace them and different colors to color them in, you can always do that. Maybe I want my light blue to trace my circles, but I want to fill some of my circles in with my dark blue marker. It's totally up to you how you want your picture to look. The brighter and the more colorful, the better. When we're coloring with our markers, we just want to make sure that we fill in the entire space, not leaving any white space, coloring back and forth nice and slowly to fill in each of those shapes and sections. Once we're done, we should have a nice, bright, and colorful picture that does not have any white space left. Now, if you want some of your patterns to include white lines or white shapes, you can always do that. Just make sure everything else is nicely colored in. Now that the inside of my heart is all colored in, I can move on to the background. Now you have a couple different choices when you're coloring in your background. If you used all different kinds of lines like I did, you can just trace over your lines to add your design, or you can color in between your lines to create more bold looking patterns. It's up to you what you think is going to work best for each of your sections and each of your designs. And that is my heart picture all finished. So when I was coloring in the background and when I was coloring in my shape section inside the heart, I was using my eraser as I was going to erase any extra pencil lines I might have missed while I was tracing and while I was coloring. Now that it's finished, you can see that I filled in all of my shapes inside of my heart and colored those in fully. I also traced and filled in all of the sections around my heart in the background with all of my different kinds of lines and designs that I included there. Now I did leave some white spaces in the background in certain areas where I wanted the lines to be the focus, and I thought if there was too much color going on there, they might get lost. So if you want to leave some of your background sections white and just trace over your design on top, you can always do that. Whatever you think is going to work best for your picture will be fine. Once you're done with your project, you can take a photo or a video of it and upload it on my Canvas page. I can't wait to see the colorful and bright hearts you guys have created. Try your best, have fun, and get creative, and I'll see you soon. Bye!